What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. After Sound here, bringing you Splinterlets content every single day. We also stream right here on this channel every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday morning, so come by and say hello. All right, that was all a lie because obviously I'm still on vacation, as you can tell from the different background here, but I did want to get into the most recent town hall, which was longer than usual and had Matt on. So as a quick reminder, this is not a summary video. There's awesome video and written content creators that put together full summaries. We are actually looking at the written official town hall summary from the team on hive.blog. So we'll use this as a reference, and then of course I have my own notes here, which we will go through. So here are the 5 things. I'll just give a quick overview. We got some bonus items. I'll try to run through this as quickly as I can. But number 1, SPS staking is replacing CP. It looks like it's coming this quarter. We knew that that was going to be the case, and we have some official numbers with us now. Now, I think I'm probably going to end up going into more of a deep dive into this once I've had a chance to actually play around with the numbers. I know many folks aren't very happy about how high some of these numbers are. You can see here, for example, like Champion 1, and here's the thing. These are not hard requirements, but in order to receive 100% of what you're receiving right now, for example, you would need 413,000 SPS staked in Champion 1. Now, for myself, where I play in gold, well, I don't play as much in gold anymore, but in diamond, you can see that this is significantly higher than a lot of our estimates as well. But if you look at the white paper, Champion in the white paper, as an example, was given at 600,000. So many folks are looking at this and saying, well, it's actually lower than what the expectations are. But I think the community's expectations were skewed from the fact that we did not look at the white paper as closely, which is on us, right? Which is on me, because I was out here saying that maybe Champion's only going to be like 100,000, and I'm sure many folks probably heard me say that, or one of the other content creators say that, and ultimately that was the new anchor. But here we are with multiple 100,000 required. 241,000 for Champ 3, 318 for Champ 2, and of course the 400,000 for Champ 1. So I don't know where exactly we're gonna go with this and how quickly. Well, I don't know when it's going to be implemented. But the cool thing, at least from what they're saying, is that they are going to have the SPS rental markets included. So right now, for example, it's actually not that expensive. And I don't have the full numbers on this, what we were talking about on the recent live stream. I don't have the full numbers on this, but it's not that expensive to rent for Champ, right? To rent a maxed Chaos Legion deck, for example, and start earning in Champ. And I know SPS is low. It's, we're sitting above 2 cents, maybe 2.2, 2.3 cents. But ultimately, I don't think the SPS rental market is going to be that expensive. There's a lot of SPS out in the marketplace. People can buy it now for 2.3 cents. And ultimately, if it's going for 2.2, 2.3 cents, I would imagine that many large holders who currently cannot get any other benefits outside of staking will go through and start renting their SPS out in order to get an additional yield on it. And if there's a ton, which again, I expect there to be quite a bit of, again, more supply, very little demand, I would say that the prices are probably going to be very reasonable. But again, that's me just probably being a little optimistic with this. So we do have some rough numbers for this, and there's actually a better kind of spreadsheet that Vugtish shared. I have it up, or ICFlow posted it in my Discord. Again, I just want to touch on this quickly because I'd rather do a deeper dive into it once I've had a chance to look at the numbers. But the numbers are out there. So in case you missed the last town hall and want to look at some of these numbers, there are definitely places in which you can go and start digging in. But this chart here on the main one, and I'll put a link to this in the description to the hive.blog for the split ones. You can see this for all of the different leagues. And, it's exponential. And I'm actually shocked that, something like silver, silver 2, for example, is like less than 10K. Even gold is kind of at the average, where 50K is probably more than I was expecting, but ultimately we'll see where things go, right? So you can buy SPS delegation, and hopefully we'll get SPS rentals coming around the same time. And this could be less than 6 weeks away if they're able to hit it in this quarter, which is when the time frame that they gave us was. Okay, number 2. You know me, I'm excited about guilds. I was hoping that there'd be some cool guild stuff coming this month. It doesn't sound like that is going to be the case anymore. But for future guild buildings and guild, we'll call it just revamps overall, there's going to be a revamp to the leaderboard, which I think is really exciting because right now, guilds, it's cool. There's a ranking system, but it's just based on your rating and the rating of all the combined members. We do, as guilds, compete directly, almost head to head with one another in many ways through the brawl system. And that is completely disregarded as a way to rank how we do each season or each brawl cycle. And so I really think that if the team can look at this and start making that more competitive, where it's not about how many people you have in your guild and what their rating is, but how you actually do in head-to-head brawls against other guilds. If we can look at leaderboards through that lens, I think it's going to be, one, much more competitive, but then two, much more exciting because of the competitive nature is now being the competitive nature is now being used appropriately and ranked appropriately. So that combined with potentially some guild end of season rewards could be really cool too. So the same way that you get end of season rewards for your main account, if there's some cool things that the guild can get, like the spyglass or maybe some bloodstones, power stones being given out, all that would be really, really cool. And I'm excited for all the stuff within guilds. I think there's a lot of potential with guilds to really build out the sub communities. For example, like I'm in Archmage Arius Disciples. We have a great community against our sub community. And I know many other guilds and like guild alliances, we'll call them, right? So your kind of Immortal Gods, Legendary Dragons, Team Possible that have multiple guilds under the same banner. It's only going to help to make them tighter and, that sense of camaraderie. The other things that we got about guilds, at least from what Matt said, again, none of this is set in stone, but replacing the quest lodge, which currently doesn't really do much because our daily quest is whatever, but you do get the shop discount as well as bonuses for playing with the game based on where your quest lodge level is at. So it looks like that is going to be removed and 2 other buildings are added. And we don't know what the requirements are going to be for those buildings, if it's going to be, maybe pack staking, maybe voucher staking, who knows. But ultimately, it makes sense to replace the quest lodge. That one was not really doing anything right now. It sounds like there's also going to be a building that can boost your crowns. So that is exciting because crowns are very much a limiting factor for guilds right now. In terms of leveling up. So finding ways in which you can boost your crowns and then hopefully perform better in other areas of the game will be really helpful. I apologize for background noise. It's just, I can't control it. Lastly, it sounds like there's going to be some cosmetic and game benefits for higher ranking leagues, which this is exactly what we're looking for. I mean, I want cosmetic things across the board, but you have people that take pride in how well they do in the game. And when it comes to the guilds, people take pride in the communities or the teams, right? The guilds that they've built. And so if we get cool cosmetic things that can bring these people closer together, that can have them flex on the rest of the community and be like, we want to show off, this is us, right? This expresses us better. I've always been saying that, it'd be cool for guilds to have a way to essentially get their own banner. So it's not just something that's stock that you can choose from, but you can design your own banner and maybe burn 500,000 DEC for it, collect from the guild, and then you can, replace it with something that's custom and unique that no other guild has. So hopefully we get something like that. Again, they just mentioned cosmetic and game benefits. So I'm hoping they take that route and allow us to burn more DEC, or if the team, if actually this should be going towards the team, if the team and creative are going to be the ones designing it out, that could be pretty cool too. So lots of fun things coming for guilds, but honestly, this sounds more like a Q3 thing. So like probably July at the very earliest, rather than any time soon, unfortunately. Okay, number 3, we have the Nifty Arcade Partnership Review. You had Tyler from Nifty Arcade who came on, talked about how, Nifty has made a whole $20, a whopping $20 from this partnership so far. So it was not about the money for them. It was about the opportunity. And I think that was clear from the beginning, although I know many folks who are against it really framed it as a cash grab from Nifty Arcade. Nifty does not own the cards. They just have the cards kind of on loan or on delegation from the team, essentially, to use this as a marketing tactic to get people to come in and play. Now, here's the thing. Only 20% of decks are being used, which is shocking to me because people were fighting for decks before this partnership began back in, I think, February or March. But I think people were fighting for decks at the higher levels, right? So your gold, diamond, plus decks, because that's where the earnings were. So 20% is disappointingly low, but I guess I can understand it, because if there's a struggle to get new players into the game, only new players would be the ones who'd be interested in using bronze or silver level decks. It looks as though from their numbers, they've been able to onboard about 150 to 200 new players, and about 7,800 SPS has been paid out. So that's kind of in line. I guess, we haven't really seen the bump that we were hoping for from a new player standpoint. And then, 7,800 SPS being paid out is like negligible to me. So I don't view that. I never viewed that as like a negative, but for people who are saying like, oh, SPS is just going to go out to these bot accounts that are going to figure out a way to, abuse the Nifty Arcade system. It's less than 8,000 SPS. I'm not too worried about it right now. Now, hopefully, and again, I don't want to get my hopes up for this, even though I just said hopefully. They do have 5 guilds that they're partnered with, and these are not like individual Splinterlands guilds, but larger gaming guilds that Nifty Arcade is partnered with. They have not been onboarded yet, and Nifty was talking about how slow that process has been. So I'm hopeful, without being too optimistic, I'm hopeful that we'll be able to see that happen sooner rather than later, even if it's taking a while. At the end of the day, getting them is better than not getting them. But it's been a couple of months now since they've had these decks available, so I don't know what exactly is taking a while, outside of the fact that in general, it sounds like it just takes a while for guilds to be onboarded. But 5 guilds bringing in hopefully thousands potentially of players is exciting and can really shake up the ecosystem, especially if the market starts to turn. All right, number 4, the energy system update. Matt gave a little bit of a teaser. Again, nothing is set in stone, but it sounds as though there will be an option to no longer just have only 50 energy per day, and then you can buy another 50 every 24 hours, but you can actually have unlimited energy and can continue playing as long as you want. The thing is, it sounds like there will be scaled pricing, so the price will start to increase maybe after you have gotten your additional 50 for the day, and as you continue to use more and more energy, it will the price will scale probably exponentially. So I think that this is good. It allows for people to continue playing who really want to play. At the end of the day, I'm not somebody that's really bought a lot of extra energy. I haven't looked at it and said, hey, you know what? The numbers make sense to me. But this, at the end of the day, is more of an ROI thing for me, right? And I know that's what we're trying to get away from. But for players who want to come in and just play, who are price agnostic and just can, come in and be like, I want to play all the time, now they'll have an option. Should they be paying for that option? I don't know. You can make that argument against it, I'm sure. Versus games that encourage people to be playing on the platform all day and will do whatever they can to keep you there. But other games are not play to earn. There's no way to necessarily abuse the system for financial or monetary gain. So we have to understand the limitations and the implications that need to be considered across the board for this. So I'm glad that the team is taking the step to try to make this unlimited. Scaled pricing sounds like a way to do it. And it sounds like, especially with where the rewards are at, because Matt kind of mentioned this offhand as well, it sounds like more rewards are being given out with this energy system as well. So trying to curb that, this might be the option. Although I hope that they don't make it less than 50. I hope they don't touch the system as it is now, right? So you can buy an additional 50, and then only more than that is going to start costing more. If they mess with it now, I think you get a lot more negative feedback than I'm sure they're getting right now. Okay, and number 5, we'll finish on this and we'll just touch on the bonus items real quick. This is exciting, but Weirdbeard was on talking about how there is a new game mode actually in the works that has some kind of drafting mechanics in it. So I don't know what that is. I know we've talked about draft mode tournaments. We've talked about arena runs. We've talked about battle pass. So I don't know what exactly it entails, but I just have to say that it's really exciting. And for people who have been super salty about all of the, just actually say lack of development, hey, there's something in the works here. And I know just because it's in the works doesn't mean it's going to get delivered anytime soon, but this is the first time we've gotten any preview or any kind of inkling that the team is not just thinking about this, but is actually and actively working on it. So shout out to Weirdbeard and sounds like the creative team for putting this together. I don't know when it's going to happen. My guess is it sounds like everything's after June at this point, but now July is starting to look a little busy with potentially all the guild stuff, maybe a promo set if that ends up happening. Now with this new game mode, who knows? But it could make for an exciting summer from a feature standpoint for Splinterlands. But I just really hope that the team can stick the landing for tower defense, land, and GLG in the month of June. And as it stands right now, I would say that my bet is that tower defense isn't going to make it. So let's go and just cover the bonus items real quick. It sounds like the team is planning some kind of 5-year anniversary event. Keep in mind that I think Splinterlands was launched in May of 2018. So 5 years. Congrats to the team. Congrats to Matt and Aggie. It's actually really impressive to see what you have built now through, I want to say, 2 hype cycles. Well, 2018 was the end of that hype cycle. So we'll just say, this is your second bear market. I'm excited to see what happens once the bull comes back around, hopefully in the next couple of years here. Rebellion, I think, is in 2024 because Aggie has now said Rebellion. He's hinted that Rebellion may get pushed to 2024. We've talked about this previously too, where Aggie's going to hold on to Rebellion until it makes sense. I am becoming less and less convinced that the market is actually going to pop off this year, or even just crypto making a run. I would love to be wrong, but I'm just kind of hedging my own emotional bets here because I don't want to expect Bitcoin to do well and for the rest of the ecosystem, the rest of the crypto ecosystem to do well and then just be disappointed. So I'd rather be on the more conservative side of that. And if that happens, well, it sounds like Rebellion is happening in 2024 as that is the new latest update. And you know what we do on this channel. We take the latest potential update that was given, latest potential ETA, and that is the now earliest that we should expect anything. And then last thing, this I'll probably dig into this a little bit more just to see where I'm at, but and for a separate video. But Matt said on the town hall that he actually expects for top players in the game, right? So the players who are earning champion chests consistently, those playing in champion and maybe leaderboards, for the top players to be able to max their soulbound reward cards in roughly 6 months. So we started this at the beginning, end of January, beginning of February. So February, March, April, we're now like 3.5 months in. So what's another 2.5 months from now? May, June, July. So by the end of July, we may start seeing the top players in the game have fully maxed out soulbound reward cards, which will then beg the question, will they be allowed to unlock their cards? And what will that do for the card value, for the ecosystem? What kind of unlocks cost will there be? I think those conversations are ones we may be having later on in the summer, which could make it really exciting because I am struggling to get the legendaries. I'm struggling to get the summoners. So if there's opportunities for me to grab them off the market, I may just choose to do so. But again, that's because I'm playing in gold/diamond. I guess I'm primarily in diamond now. And since I'm not as focused on leveling up my Chaos Legion deck, even though cards are cheap right now, I am curious to know what it's going to be like for me now that there's an anchor of 6 months, how long I would need to wait as a diamond level player that, spends most of the season in diamond 2, works my way up to diamond 1, sometimes makes it in champ, what that time frame looks like for me. And I'm hopeful that that time frame will be less than a year. Because if it takes more than a year and we decide to change the reward cards out for when Rebellion comes out or when close to Rebellion comes out, I would love to have a maxed soulbound reward card deck as obviously as quickly as possible, but before it runs out, just because I don't know what the pricing is going to look like on the secondary market. But we'll see how it goes. That is all 5 items here. I just want to go and check if there's any eye candy that is worth sharing. Outside of that, Monster Mayhem is still happening on Splinterlands TV, so make sure you check that out if you get a chance. Looks like there was some account security stuff that was in Tuesday's release, which was really light. I didn't even think it was worth mentioning. But that's all I have for you guys. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Like I said, I'm going to try and keep the content coming while I'm out of town. I'm only halfway through my trip right now, so hopefully I will be able to continue keeping up with everything that's going on. It sounds like there's a lot happening right now, but I hope you all are doing well. I'll catch you all in the next video and see you around the game. Take care.